All right, guys. Folks, it's great to have you here. We are going to be playing 5th edition D&D, and why don't everyone sound off with your characters and your actual names, which are already on your screens, I imagine, but we'll do it now.
I guess I'll start. I'm Ash, they, them. Today I'll be playing Zinder, the fallen Aasimar shadow sorcerer. As you can tell, I'm playing the edgiest of characters, and my makeup needs to reflect that.
Tim, why don't you go next?
All right, my name is Tim Gonzalez. I am playing the Vengeance Paladin Rex. So he is the next edgiest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be using some magic items from upcoming Kickstarter of yours, aren't we?
Yes. So currently on Kickstarter, I have a 5th edition book. It's called The Archive of Magic Items. Big book of ton of cool magic items for 5th edition. So some of us are using some of the items there.
We're really looking forward to it. Josh, why don't you describe your character?
I'm Josh, he, him. I am playing Brumal Leaf, a white dragonborn Kensei monk.
Nice. And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing Kynor, the Wood Elf Gunslinger, which is a fighter archetype. It's Matt Mercer's homebrew. So
You're using the new version, or that just came out yesterday?
yes, yeah.
Awesome. And Alex.
My name is Alex. I'm playing the halfling Franklin Montgomery, the Celestial Warlock.
Nice. All right, so you guys have been traveling for some time now. You're this is in the world of Tessex, which is my own. It's a world I've created. It's kind of a very Old West theme, but still has a very fantasy bent to it. Lots of warrior wizards and paladins and warlocks and all that stuff. They just all wear cowboy hats occasionally and like to ride across sweeping tundras like Monument Valley. But you guys are taking a herd of rhinoceros through from a main grazing breeding area and taking them north to one of the last rail towns before you go through the mountains. And they're called it's called the Blood Rock Badlands. And you've been traveling for several days, and you're just starting to get into the the rougher part of the terrain where you're having to look around a little bit, and make sure none of the herd ducks off into the rocks and gets lost or tries to get away. And you have to move a little slow because they have to forage for food and not lose too much weight on the trip. And you guys are camped for the evening. Found a nice box canyon to kind of hold them up in, and you guys are around the campfire. So why don't Aaron? Why don't you explain how you got to ride with this group of individuals?
So Kynor is out looking for his brother that left the family about 4 years ago, and he hasn't heard from him. So he's just been picking up the odd job here and there and looking for anyone that might have seen another wood elf. And after working random caravans as a guard, he just picked up with this crew.
Nice. Rex, how about you?
So I don't know if we had talked about stuff ahead of time, but as a paladin of vengeance, Rex is always on the hunt for not necessarily crime, but he's always keeping an eye out for people that have eluded justice. So people who have committed crimes and fled, he's the one that goes out to grab them and drag them back to face their crime. So he's probably chasing after some sort of lead at this point.
Nice.
Someone that has a nice wanted poster somewhere in the town.
Oh, there's plenty of one.
Oh yeah.
Ash, how about you?
Well, Zinder, I'll give like a quick physical description of what they look like. They're like have very pale skin, short black hair, and their body is just like covered in tattoos of like various sort of abstract designs. They wear like I guess kind of like a vest. Like the thing I want to equate it to is sort of like the leather version of a tank top.
Ah, nice.
And like pants, and they came here from the old empire. They used to like they were essentially like a child factory worker in like one of the underground factories, and they kind of escaped to the continent of Tessex because they believe it is the will of their god Vord. Or Vold, sorry, to essentially like wipe the slate clean of like all the corruption that's been festering in the empire, and so they're kind of just out here, sort of trying to get more in touch with nature, and then to bring back its wrath to the empire.
Nice. All right. And Josh, how about you?
So Broomleaf, he's wearing like the karate gi that like sort of like has half the chest open, with the the pants with the giant like hempen rope that you would see in like a Street Fighter game, and he has this big cloak over it that sort of like hides just like the lower part of the face, and he's sitting around the campfire, and he's basically just been sent down here from his monastery that his clan basically runs, and he's sort of bringing these rhinos. They are food in this world, and they sort of like he's bringing it to the village that would provide for his monastery, and he's basically he's been trained to see weapons aren't like a thing for just like violence and battling. Weapons are a tool, and so his sword, like he's basically trying to prove that it's not the weapon that makes the fighter, but the person and their ability.
Nice. Alex.
Well, Franklin's got this old duster on. As he takes it off, he's got his leather armor on with no sleeves, and he's been sent here by his patron to do good across the land. He's traveled with Rex a couple of times on caravans to the outskirts, but he's just looking to do good in the world and find a good meal.
Nice. So you guys, you don't have like a chuck wagon or anything. You're all kind of left to fend for yourself as far as food goes. You guys are all pretty hardy individuals, so you're able to take care of yourself. You don't need those creature comforts or any help to find anything to eat. But you're around your campfire. The rhinos are pretty well bedded down for the night, and you hear what sounds like a chicken squawk really loudly out in the dark, away from the camp.
I don't know if we established. Does my rifle have are you okay with my rifle having a scope on it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I didn't know if that exists in this world. I think I would just grab the rifle and kind of look in the direction where that noise came from. See if I can make anything out.
Would you roll a perception?
Okay, first roll.
And if you have you have dark vision?
I do, as a wood elf.
There you
go. So that would be a 18.
18. You see what looks like a humanoid figure kind of moving closer. It's pretty tall and lanky. It doesn't look like it's crouching or anything. It's just kind of walking closely, or kind of walking normally, probably about 100 feet off.
Well, gentlemen, I do believe we may have some company about coming our way here shortly.
Do we have enough food?
I do not know.
Now, was that company by any chance squawking like a chicken?
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't see a chicken. Just saw a person or a humanoid figure.
Anyone invite any chickens for dinner?
I wouldn't mind for some.
Can we split a chicken 5 ways, possibly 6, with this new stranger approaching our campfire?
Depends on how big the chicken is, I suppose.
And definitely how you cook it.
True.
I think one of
That
you might
shouldn't be
have
an
something to
issue.
say about eating the chicken.
So I wasn't
Should
able to
we-
make out like weapons or anything on this. I could just kind of tell it was a shape of a humanoid, right?
Yeah, it looks like just a tall, thin humanoid
Okay.
moving slowly closer.
How far away are they?
You wouldn't know.
Well,
Aaron would know, but
okay.
Oh,
Uh,
how far away are they?
about 100 feet.
Oh, I'm just because I have as a shadow sorcerer, I have dark vision to 120.
Oh, yeah, you would probably notice too. Yeah, about 100 feet.
Okay. I kind of get up. Zinder gets up and starts heading in the direction of the individual.
He kind of stops as he sees you get up, and he kind of, he doesn't really like duck or hide or anything. He just waves his hand, and says, "Howdy, you got room with that fire for another?"
I don't see why not. Come over.
He just kind of walks. He's got his hands out. He's not like trying to. He's kind of like showing that he doesn't have any weapons. In his hand, or he's not approaching aggressively. He walks up to the campfire. As the sunlight kind of hits him, you can see he's wearing a flat brimmed black hat, wearing a really dirty duster. He has he's a really skinny fella. He has, you can see his cheekbones really prominently. His eyes are kind of sunken into his head. He has kind of a shifty look about him, but he doesn't look undead or anything like that. He looks to be human, maybe half elf, but it's kind of hard to tell in the firelight.
Where's your chicken?
I saw a chicken while I was walking in, but I don't have one myself.
What kind of chicken? Was it a diet chicken or just a regular old chicken?
Oh, it's a big old honking chicken.
Oh dear.
He looked all right. I think I startled him.
It wasn't that axe beak, right?
Could be.
No,
We don't
Ginger's
see-
in the back. We'll be all right.
We don't see many of them out here.
So, what brings you around these parts, walking around at this time? Come sit by the fire.
Well, I saw your fire, and I was hoping you'd have some coffee or maybe something to eat.
If I have anything to spare, I'll just pass them some stuff while we sit down, just relaxed.
He offers it. He takes it. He just kind of nods his head to you and thanks, and he just kind of quietly eats his food, not really looking at you, and not really staring at anybody. But you can tell he's kind of looking at each of you, kind of sizing you up. Just new guy shows up. He wants us to make sure nobody's gonna mug him, as well as you'd be as equally suspicious about him, probably.
When he sees me, like I'm not the type to like take very good care of my swords. Like I basically would pick my teeth with it, or like whatever we're eating, like I had just taken my long sword and just stabbed my food into it and just sort of like eating it off the sword, and
Nice.
then like just like wipe off a little bit of it, and then like I just have the long sword in my lap.
Like a Brazilian steakhouse kind of situation.
Yes, exactly.
Are there any like small like reptiles or lizards around?
You might not see any immediately, but there would definitely be some. It wouldn't take you long to find one if you were looking for one.
Well, not like getting up from my place. I kind of try and see if I spot one of them. And like the moment I get a look at it, I just toss a firebolt in its direction. Grab the charged reptile remains and just start taking a bite out of it.
Yeah, his eyes get a little big when you shoot off your firebolt, but then he just kind of nods and goes back to eating. So, what brings you folks through the rocks up here?
Mostly
See all those
caravan
rhinos,
work.
right?
We're driving these rhinos across to the nearest town.
Oh yeah. Well, you still got a ways to go then. There aren't any towns for quite a ways.
Oh, speaking of, and then I reach into the pocket of my like leather jacket and I pull out a picture. Have you happened to see this elf that I am looking for? And I just show him a picture of my brother that I carry with me everywhere.
He doesn't reach out and grab it. He just kind of looks up at it over his plate. Well, can't say that I have. I've seen my share of elf, but I haven't seen that. And
Well, the search goes on, I guess, and then I just put it back into my pocket.
That elf got a name?
Kainak, actually.
Kainak.
Wait, so your name's Kainor, and that person's name is Kainak?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Right.
No
Do you have any other siblings?
Well, we got Kai Fan and Kai Nor. No, wait, that's me. You put me on the spot.
I was just wondering if there's a bit of a family family name going on. I don't know those elven names.
Yeah, Kai Jin and
Kaiku.
yes.
He's got a cousin named Haiku.
Your grandma, Kanana.
Calendar.
Kids in the Empire are lucky to get names, especially from where I'm from.
Wait, so wait, really? He just like turns to look at you like, getting names a special thing?
Yeah, well, most of the time you're just there, you go there and you get sent off to the factory and then you get a number, but it's not that kind of thing where you don't want to get attached to anyone.
See, now we all just get a name once we hatch from our eggs.
Well, that's lucky you.
That's just a little bit of elf humor. We don't actually hatch from eggs.
I hatch from an egg.
I do not doubt that at all, Scaly Man.
Got a little lag here, sorry.
Now I want some eggs.
Not dragonborn eggs, I hope.
Despite being hatched from an egg, I still think eggs are delicious.
I mean, that's just universally known.
They're just smaller eggs.
Yeah. Just because we're all made of like meat doesn't mean that we don't like eating meat.
Can't argue with that logic. Speaking of meat and food, how you doing there, stranger?
Oh man, this is about to hit the spot. Y'all don't have any coffee, do you?
I mean,
I don't
taking a
believe
look
I
at
do.
my Explorer pack and unfortunately drawing a blank there.
I heard coffee makes you get shorter. I can't afford that.
Shame. Well, how about cards? Any of y'all play cards?
I'll play some cards.
Yeah, I fancy a game myself.
All right. He pulls out a deck, and as he's been eating his food, you notice his hands kind of shake a little bit, and he acts like kind of an awkward, gangly kind of fella. But once he puts his plate down, he drops the plate, a couple inches, and it kind of clatters on the ground. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a deck of cards. And as he pulls these cards out, his hands are incredibly dexterous. I mean, he's moving these cards like a pro. The shakiness that he had before is just completely gone, and he starts dealing cards out like he's been doing it his whole life.
Now, forgive me if I may be intruding here, but I do believe it is customary to introduce yourself before you play a game with people, as I feel like just calling you mysterious strangers the novelty is only gonna last so long.
I've gotten used to it.
Oh wow, well I don't recollect. I've been introduced yet myself.
Well, my name's Kainor Moonshadow, and
that's
you
right.
would be.
I heard about your your family tree there briefly. I forgot. Sorry.
It's a long and storied family tree, I do assure you. We fall right out of it when we're born, from acorns, as it were. No, that's also some more elfin humor.
That one I believe, though.
Well, I reckon for now y'all can call me Rip.
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 Mhm.
Maybe
I'm
after
gonna-
this hand, you'll know figure out. You can figure out what my last name is. And he kind of laughs to himself. He thinks that's quite amusing.
That's not creepy at all. Let's play.
Where do you hail from, Rip?
Oh, west of here.
And where are you going to?
Oh, east, north. Don't rightly know. Nowhere in particular.
That's not vague at all.
Well, lots of places to explore around here. Not, I fella gets tired of being around too many people for too long, but every once in a while he wants a warm meal and a little conversation.
Can I make
card-
an insight check on him?
You can.
Good idea.
15.
15. Yeah, he doesn't look like he doesn't look like the most honest of, but he probably hasn't left swats of dead bodies in his wake. But I bet he probably is.
He's hiding something.
Maybe not hiding something, but he's definitely a shifty kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
But
I
you've
just, like-
met a lot of shifty guys, so that doesn't mean. I mean, they're all, not all bad guys are shifty guys, or not all shifty guys are bad guys. I mean, every party has to have a rogue at some point or another.
I just sort of eye him from across the campfire, like just keeping my eyes on him.
Yeah, I think Kainor is not going to partake in playing the card game. I think he's going to keep watch.
Yeah. And he deals cards out to all of you, and when he sees you're not gonna, if you don't pick up the cards that he's dealt you, he's just gonna take them back and put them in the deck.
Yeah, Zinder's not playing either. They're kind of taking this time to sort of look up into one of the moons and just sort of mumbling to themselves right now.
Okay. Okay, so Rex, Brumaleaf, and Franklin, you're still playing?
Yeah, I'll play.
All right. He deals his cards out, and he why don't you roll a d6, each of you that's playing, see how many good cards you have.
I got a 6.
6?
I got a 1.
Rex
You
got
got a
a 2.
Okay. He looks. If you got 6, I'd say you have a fairly good hand. The other guys maybe not so good. He looks at you guys. So, do y'all need any cards?
Yeah, I'm gonna fold.
Are we playing for money?
I mean, you wouldn't put an ante in, but I guess the understanding would be that once you figure out what kind of hand you have, you will be putting in money.
I won't take any cards.
I'll take a card.
How many cards?
Should I roll for it or just say I'm in?
That's up to you. I mean, it's up to you. How many? If you, each card you get, you'll get another reroll.
Okay, I'll take 2 cards.
2 cards. All right. So why don't you roll a d6 twice?
I got a 4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. Okay. So he gets the deck out, and if I find where I put my dice. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you roll a perception versus his sleight of hand?
All of it?
I just assumed this was a stacked deck from the beginning. Stranger walks in, pulls out his own deck of cards.
I got
Did you
a
want all of us
3.
to roll?
You got a 3.
So I'm just like busy
everybody
looking
can
at
roll
my
a
cards.
can roll a perception, but probably with disadvantage because you're not having the card actually dealt to you.
Oh, okay. I got a 16. Well, with disadvantage. I got a nat 1, so
Now,
I'm not paying attention.
anybody else want to do perception?
Nah, I'll fail that.
He sleight of handed your belt off, your pants around your ankles.
It's a fairly large rope, so I think I would know. Maybe not with a 3, but
He's that good.
All right. Look something up here. don't you roll a D20 and a D6 and just tell me what you got
Total or separate?
separately.
13 on the D20, 3 on the D6.
All right, he hands you your he hands the deck to you, and he doesn't really toss you the card. He holds the deck out to you for you to draw one.
Okay. I reach out and I draw one.
Sorry, just a second. You as you pick the deck up, you feel it kind of tingle in your hand,
Ooh.
and as you kind of look at it, you notice the back of this card is a different color than the cards you had in your hand.
Okay.
And as you look down at your feet, or you look at the card, and it doesn't have the normal playing card suits on it, but it has a picture of a large diamond on the front of it.
Okay.
And you hear a kind of the sound of something dropping down by your feet.
Okay. I look down at my feet. What dropped?
You see, look, it's hard to tell in the darkness because it looks kind of like rocks, but as you look closer, it looks like a bunch of pieces of jewelry and kind of large gemstones laying at your feet.
Oh man. Okay. I say to a Rip, I'm like, what's with these gems? You just carry gems around, falling out of your sleeve, I assume.
Oh, those aren't mine. Those aren't mine, friend. Looks like you just grew pretty lucky.
Okay. So I pick up the gems and can I like examine them?
Yeah, it looks to be 25 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold each.
Did you say 2,000 gold each?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Kind of, Zinder is now kind of looking at this, and they're gonna try and discern if there's some sort of magic at work. Well, there's probably almost certainly some sort of magic at work, but if they can identify what's going on.
Oh, for sure.
Can I just roll Arcana?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. That's going to be a whopping 10.
10. Why don't you roll a history as well?
Okay. That's going to be 13.
13. You've heard about strange cards that have strange magical powers, but you can't really recall exactly what they do. You just remember hearing legends about weird decks of cards out in history.
I mean, there's lots of different kinds of decks of cards, right? Like there's many different decks of cards out there.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
many,
maybe.
many different decks of many different things.
He looks at the rest. He says, "Y'all sure you don't need any more cards?"
Well, that looks like a mighty interesting game you're playing with these cards.
Can I take the jewels and like I'll keep one for myself that I basically find like shiny and nice, but my character doesn't really like take stock in wealth or like having lots of money, so I just sort of pass it around our campfire and he goes, we might need these for supplies, or we could trade to better improve our journey, but I don't really need these, so you can distribute them among yourselves.
Hey, Zinder.
Yeah.
The place you come from, what would you think about playing a game where a whole bunch of magical items just happen to fall to the ground? I don't know, to me that seems mighty suspicious, but looking for someone that might be a little more cynical than me.
I'll take a card.
He hands you the deck.
I'd say that anyone who's foolish enough to get to draw from that deck gets exactly what they deserve.
And then he goes,
Take one.
What game exactly are you playing here?
I thought we were playing Go Fish.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you when you say that, kind of like, dude, be cool. Come on, man. But
I'm not a cop.
you know,
You have to tell me.
sometimes you ain't got enough cards to make a full deck, so you just kind of use whatever you got at hand to pad it out, you know.
I see.
And you go ahead and draw.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Roll a d20 and a d6.
The D20 is a 1, and the
problem.
6 is a 5. I'll put that one away.
He kind of you look down at the card and you feel the same familiar tingle, and as you look at the card he's handed you, it has a skull on the front of it.
Oh,
And everybody else, once you roll perception.
So
Nat
14 plus 6, so a total of 20.
13.
10.
Nat 20 plus 1, 21.
Nice.
Everybody but Alex sees, standing behind Alex, a shrouded, ghostly figure appears behind him, and it looks like it's holding a scythe.
Ooh.
Oh, oh shit.
Get down!
Quick, put it back.
And, Alex, you kind of see everyone's faces, eyes get really big as they look at not you, but something standing behind you.
It's just a skull. Does this help the rest of my cards? I got 5 spades and a skull. What does that get me?
Seeing the figure behind my halfling companion, Zinder is going to like put their hand out and kind of like in a position that's sort of like simultaneously like don't want any trouble and I could very easily cast a spell right now.
He as you kind of do that, Rip, the guy, he kind of grabs your arm and says, I wouldn't interfere if it were me, partner.
I give Rip a sideways look and then slowly lower my arm.
He says,
Oh.
yeah. He looks at you and says, you best deal with your friend there that just showed up behind you, little fella.
I'll turn around and admire the new guest at our fire.
What is your hit point maximum?
He's a real
38.
grim type.
And you notice he's swinging a scythe directly at your head.
Well, I can't dodge, so.
PR, I think I know mechanically how this works, so I will probably be aiding him in this, so I know that probably makes it more complicated, but
All right,
Spectre of Death appears behind one of my comrades. I'm gonna jump in there.
well, we'll deal with that as it happens.
Okay, good.
He's going to swing at you, and that will be dealing 6 damage as he takes a swing at you. And I guess let's roll initiative. Even I'm sure you guys have all played enough to know it's probably not a good idea to jump in, but there is player knowledge, of course. And if you don't know what a deck of many things is, you don't know what happens. Jump in to help. But let's all roll initiative.
I'm at 20.
17.
I also got 17.
Aaron, you were 20?
Yeah.
And Ash, you were 17?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody higher than 20? Lower than 17?
I got 9.
9. Okay.
I had 17.
Yeah, Rick's on an 18.
Oh, okay.
Tim, you got 18?
Yeah.
And what you get again, Josh? I'm sorry.
17.
Okay, yeah. So he rolled really bad on his initiative. So Aaron would be up first, but Alex is unless you guys are all going to do something. Tim, you're next in initiative, I believe.
I'm going to walk over to Rip and just
Tô fazendo coisa.
kind of. I've got my gun, my rifle out in my hands, kind of pointed in the direction of this specter of death. But Rip, what do you seem to have some sort of knowledge about that? What is that thing?
Oh, it's some sort of specter. I've seen a few fellas draw this card, and as he says that, that's your a little bit. You can say a few sentences during your turn, so that's probably as far as he gets.
Okay.
And Ash, you would be next in initiative order if you're going to do anything.
Zinder pulls out their dagger and pushes it up against I'm assuming I'm right next to Rip.
Sure.
So because he was putting my hand down. So I grab his arm and put the blade to his neck. It's like how do we make it stop this?
It just got to play its course.
Zinder's kind of looking between Rip and the Spectre, and is not entirely sure what to do.
You can see Rip. He is completely. He's making it all. Even with a knife to his throat, he's just remaining out of combat as obviously as one can. And with that, Josh.
Oh, what am I gonna do?
I'm sorry. I had you as 18, Tim. I'm sorry. We'll get you on the next round.
I guess I'm going to move up to the Spectre. Can I do some kind of religion or nature check to try to figure out how I can get it to vanish? Or which would you prefer, religion or nature?
I would say religion would probably make more sense.
Okay. I got a 12.
12. Ooh. Hard to say. You've never yourself have never actually seen something like this before. You'd imagine probably hitting it as hard as you can, as many times as you can, with preferably something sharp would do the job, but you can't really be sure.
And it looks ethereal in nature.
It does. It looks very ethereal, spectral, even like some sort of avatar.
Okay. Can I still take a swing at it with my longsword, or is the check count as my action? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Your mic went out. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Quick, kill it while the GM can't fight back.
I punch it a million times.
I
we
start
are
channeling
having-
a spirit bomb.
While
Your
we are
cat's
having a bit
stunned.
of technical difficulty, I will jump in here. Just wanted to let everyone know that we have raised $794 for
Nice.
the Children's Defense Fund. And I did want to give a quick shout out as I quickly try and pull up the information to the Costells Dungeons and Flagons over in Fresno, who is also live streaming this, hosting part of Roll4Change Rob over there, hosted him for the first game, so wanted to give a quick shout out to them. Hope everyone is having fun at the at that place there. And please hold as we try and correct some technical difficulties here.
Nothing.
Hello? Nothing?
Oh, I,
Maybe.
Hello?
yeah,
Okay,
there
I
we
hear
go.
you now.
There we go.
Oh, man. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
Pause for commercial break.
Mhm.
That's all right. So, Josh, you what did you roll an attack on this thing?
Yeah, I wanted to hit it with my Kensei longsword.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay. Does a 12 hit?
It does not. But as you swing your weapon at it, it just passes right through it with no apparent effect. But everyone else can see another one just appeared right behind your old buddy Brumoleaf.
Does it change anything if my longsword is a magic weapon?
It does not because you
Okay.
didn't hit its armor class.
Oh yes. Okay.
And what is your what's your ace or your hit point maximum, Josh?
37.
37. Okay, so yeah, you guys see there's two of these specters hanging out there. And then we'll go Tim, we'll go with you since I missed you on your turn.
All right, so Rex is going to leap towards the. He was going to leap towards the first specter, but now there's two specters. I don't know which one to do. He'll keep motion towards the first specter that appeared, and as he does it, he'll just call out to Rick, just saying, "We're going to have a talk about this later." And he's going to rush towards the first specter. The armor from the cowboy hat that he's wearing, it has the metal pieces on the brim. They're going to descend down and start encapsulating him in an actual suit of armor. As he pulls out a greatsword, he's going to just try to hit the first specter that appeared.
I'm picturing like Star-Lord's mask coming into
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good way. Yeah, something like that. All right, so he's gonna mosey on over to that specter and try to hit it.
I like your use of the word mosey. It really fits the theme of the world.
Mhm.
I'm getting deep in character, guys.
Why don't you roll an attack?
All right, so 23.
23 will hit.
All right, he will smite with that. So he'll use a first level spell slot. I'm saying this out loud because it's my first time doing Paladin, so that way if I'm doing anything wrong, someone please correct me. So he'll smite with a first level slot, which does 2d8 damage. Is the Spectre of Death an undead creature?
It is considered an undead, yes.
All right, so it'll do an extra d8 of damage. And with Great Weapon Master the Feat, with the Paladin feature, I can reroll 1s or 2s on my damage die. All right, so 4. Do you need to know differences between the radiant damage and the regular non-magical damage?
That shouldn't make a difference with this one.
All right, cool. So I'll just give the total then. 10, 17.
Yeah, as long as it's not necrotic or poison, that's fine.
Cool. 23 damage.
23?
Yeah.
Why don't you want to describe how this specter dies?
Cool. Sure. So when he pulls out the sword, he just charges over to it. As he's doing so, it's a great sword. The entire blade of the sword glows with a white light so that you can't see any of the details on it. It just looks like a beam of light, and he just slices through the specter.
Awesome. Well, this thing is completely gone, but since you attacked it, another one appears directly behind you that you can't necessarily see, but everyone else can.
So as I do that, who that it appeared behind again?
The second one appeared behind Josh, and this next one has appeared behind you.
Cool. So the first one that appeared, I just look at Franklin and I'm like, all right, we just got one more left to go. That's the other one appeared behind me.
I don't see any.
And that will make it Alex's turn.
Oh wait, one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to this. I get 2 attacks.
Okay.
Would I be able to attack one of the other specters?
Yeah, you can use. I don't think you use much movement, so you can use the rest of your movement by it or attack from where you're at. Either way,
All right. 21.
that'll hit.
All right. I can't smite, so or I won't. 12 damage.
That you do a good deal of damage to it. It's not completely out, but as that happens, another one appears behind you.
Oh shit.
Because not only did you attack the original one, but then you attacked Josh's.
I might not have thought this through, guys.
Can we forget the head slicing thing?
No, we have to attack it faster than they can reappear, guys. That's the trick.
Maybe we should leave.
And what should I have here at the bottom? Who have I missed anybody in this turn?
It's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the gunslinger.
Is it back to me?
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
So I'm
no,
Alex.
I haven't gone yet. That's the last
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Go ahead, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wrote the first letter of your name, but I didn't write the rest of it.
Watching Rex take care of mine, I'm going to try to guiding bolt the blast, the one behind him, at least one of them now. That is 25
That will hit.
or 24. That still hits. $23 points of damage.
That will kill it. And which one did you attack?
The first one that appeared behind him.
First one. Okay. As that happens, another one appears behind you.
All right, we're problem solving, guys. We're gonna figure this out, everyone.
Why don't you guys all roll an insight?
Sixteen.
17.
17?
5.
5?
3.
6.
3? Who got the 17?
I did.
You, as an Asimar, you might have a more of an insight on these things. You kind of have, from what you're the one that rolled the insight or the history earlier. You kind of recall something about this where you're supposed to only attack the one that you summon, and if you attack one, another one will appear for you to fight. And you kind of have the idea that you're only supposed to fight the one that you originally that appeared behind you, and if you attack any other ones, then just more will show up. So you have that idea, but none of the other guys do at this point. The other individuals.
Yep.
And with that, we will be at the top of the round, and the two behind Rex are going to attack him.
There's one behind me and one behind Rex now.
And there's one behind me.
There's two behind. Wasn't there two behind Tim? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rex made 2, and then Bromleaf made 1.
Correct. And then
I just killed one that was behind Rex, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you got the one behind Josh. Okay, so yeah, so there's one behind.
Apologize.
So there's 3 total. One of them behind Rex. So just one attacks Rex. This is why I like maps and minis so much. It's so easier to keep track of this stuff. He doesn't. Oh, okay. Let's do sweep spectral sky to them. That will do 8 damage.
Is it magical damage or?
I'm sorry. It's necrotic damage.
Okay.
And it doesn't say.
You got that heavy armor, Master?
Yep.
Yeah. That.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Love that
No,
feat.
I didn't roll enough. I'm sorry.
No, you can stop there
I
though.
apologize for incorrectly doing that. That was 8 slashing damage and 5 necrotic damage. My apologies.
Okay.
Okay.
So is the slashing damage magical? Because that does matter
No,
for.
it doesn't say it's magical, so
All right.
it's spectral, but not magical apparently.
So it was 5 plus how much?
5 plus 8.
Cool.
Yeah. So you reduce the 8 by 3.
Okay.
Yes, she'd only take 10.
And then the next one
Thank
that
you.
was behind Franklin. He's going to take a swipe at him too and do. I'm so used to having to roll for attacks, but this one I don't believe rolls for attacks. It makes them 7 slashing damage and 4 necrotic damage. And with that, it will be Aaron's turn.
Are these things floating?
They appear to. Yes, they are. They're hovering, actually.
Okay. Well, that threw my plan out the window. So the insight was to determine if we're realizing that hitting these things makes a new one.
Correct.
All right, then I am going to shoot one. The one behind, there's still one behind Rex, right?
Correct.
All right.
One behind Rex and one behind Franklin.
Does a 16 hit?
It does not.
Okay, then I just
But,
reload my gun and
one appears
that's-
behind you.
okay.
And that will be Tim's turn.
How many do I have on me currently?
You have one currently behind you.
I will attack that one.
Okay.
So, first attack, natural 1, so that'll miss. Second attack, 23.
That will hit.
Okay, so I'll smite this one because I want it to go down. Don't want any on me. So that'll be this, this, and this. 23 damage.
That will. You can describe how you kill this second one. Your second specter.
Okay, this one I duck under one of its scythe swings. So as I duck under it, I roll right through it, like I roll right through the spectral body, and I turn around on my knees and just drive the shining blade through the back of the specter. And as I assume it dissipates into thin air, I'll just shout out in general to everyone, "Where the heck do these things keep coming from?"
Nice. And with that, and you use your second. Okay,
Yep.
Ash, it is your turn.
Okay. Zinder, kind of understanding the like what's going on here, looks to what would you say is the closest specter?
Ooh, let's see. There's two currently. There's one behind Franklin and one behind Sinor. Did we I don't think we really established how far everyone was away. I guess you're going to be close enough that you could get to either one.
Well, I'm not going to get near to either one. I'm going to pull the knife away from Rip, grab him by his collar, and say, "Reap what you've sown," and throw it at the nearest specter.
Throw him at the nearest specter?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now here's the question though: Does that count as a what's the term?
Is it a
Improvised weapon?
I don't know. The question is, would he be dealing the damage, or would I be dealing the damage?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't you roll a d20 or I'll roll a d20 and you say
Okay.
whether it's the high number or the low number.
Okay.
Put the knife in his hand and then throw him at him.
Okay, high or low?
I'm gonna go with high.
I got a 7.
Ah.
So yeah, he flies from your grasp towards with kind of a blood curdling yelp, and he flies and hits the specter. Doesn't. Why don't you roll an attack since you're throwing him?
Okay. Would this be like a strength based?
Oh, I have to look up on our improvised weaponry. I haven't done that in a while.
I think it's
Improvised would be strength based.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
if
it's
he's
always
but if
strength-based.
he's throwing it, it's technically a ranged throwing him. It's technically a ranged attack.
But that can still. But thrown attacks are still strength-based.
true. Yeah, I guess
Uh,
if you're throwing an actual body, it would be a
That's
strength based. You can't really. Maybe if it was a halfling, it could be dex based.
Okay. That's a 19.
19, that will not hit him, unfortunately. Well, it hits him. It passes through him, but you didn't throw him with enough accuracy to hit whatever spectral part of a spectre you're supposed to hit spectrally.
Mm-hmm.
But one appears behind you.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, that's wait, did I take no, I did I think I specifically didn't take Quicken. Yeah, nope. That's my turn.
Okay, Josh, what is Broomleaf going to do?
Is there still one behind me?
There is one behind. I'm having to keep track of this. There's one behind Sinor. There's one behind Zinder. And there's one behind Franklin. And Tim killed his.
Okay.
So there were three, and now there are three again.
Can I do another insight check to find out why these keep reappearing?
You can. Roll it with advantage, because you've been watching them for a little while.
Okay. So 19.
19, you kind of get the same idea that Ash had. It's, when the wrong person, because you just saw Rex hit one, and when he hit the one that appeared behind him, another one didn't appear. So you get the idea that, maybe you're supposed to only attack the ones that appear behind you.
Okay, I'm going to use bonus action to shout it out. Like, only tackle the ones behind you, or else they're going to just keep reappearing.
There you go.
And that's my turn.
Okay, and with that, it is Alex's turn.
Excellent.
You have one right behind you.
I'm after hearing that, I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Healing Light. I get to my eyes go white and start to heal some of the wounds on me for 11 points. I'll take that. And then using my empowering staff, I point straight at the spectral and cast Guiding Bolt at level 3. Let's see if I hit. 19 plus 7, so it's 26.
That'll totally hit.
$25 points of damage.
That will kill it.
Nice.
You just completely dissipate this thing with your guiding bolt, and it just gets fried into nothingness.
Nice.
And that one is gone. And with that, the one behind Sinor is going to take a swing at you and do 6 slashing damage and 8 necrotic damage.
Ooh, okay.
And then the one behind Ash is going to attack him for 6 slashing damage and 2 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And it is Sinor's turn.
Cool. I'm going to spend a grit point to get advantage on my next attack roll, and I'm going to load one of my ice bullets into my gun, and I'm just going to basically put the gun on my shoulder and just pull the trigger.
Nice. You're doing your trick shot like in the...
Yeah. Ooh, natural 20.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
How are you doing crits?
2 double damage dice.
Double damage dice. That's a lot of dice.
Okay,
Okay.
just add the regular modifiers to it as you would for 1 damage, but for normal damage, but then just double the dice roll.
Okay.
So many dice.
It is, because my gun's a lot of dice, plus those ice bullets. 37 points of frost damage.
Nice.
As the roar from your sniper rifle roars out across this valley, it starts echoing into the hills around you, and you can just hear it reporting back as the sound carries so far from this just massive blast that completely destroys the specter.
And I think I actually get my grit point back because I rolled the 20 on the hit roll. So
Do you get grit back because you killed one as well?
Oh, yeah,
No,
either
I
way.
think it's just on crits.
Oh,
no, I think it's both actually. But either way, doesn't matter.
I can't remember. I've never played the class. All I know about it is from Critical Role. And Tim, it is your turn.
Okay, so I've gotten the notification. Only attack the one that's there. Who still has a specter up?
So far, just Zinder.
All right, Zinder. Rex looks like he wants to attack this thing, but is holding back on it. So instead, what he's going to do is the next time that it's going to, he's going to take the aid action to give you advantage on your next attack if you so make one. So the way he's going to do it is at some point this thing's going to swing at you, and he's gonna jump in front of it to take it and give you an opening. So that's what his aid action is going to look like.
Okay.
Because I really hope taking an aid action doesn't summon another.
I would say not. I think we've had guys. And with that, Ashley, it's your turn.
Okay. Zinder is going to cast. I'll say Firebolt. Oh wait, it's right next to me, so probably not a great idea to do that.
Yeah.
It would nullify the disadvantage.
Oh right, yeah. Okay. Then in that case, I'll Firebolt it
Cool.
for a crit.
Ooh.
So that's 4d10, right? Yeah.
But
'cause-
go ahead and roll. We'll say it kills it anyway.
yeah.
But let's go ahead and roll it just for fun, just to see what we got.
Okay. So
Holy cow,
10,
that's
17. Yeah, that's 25 damage.
Oh yeah, that totally would do it. Awesome. So yeah, you have defeated one specter that turned into what is it, 7?
Did everyone end up with their own specter?
I don't
I
think
think so.
Alex did. No, Alex did. Josh,
Yeah,
did you
I was the first one, so I think everyone got one.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
And Rex
Excellent.
got 2.
Rex got two.
These are equal
Oops.
opportunity avatars of death.
All right.
And,
So is Rip still there?
He's laying in the ground, kind of with his butt in the air, kind of awkwardly trying to pick himself up. This just happened seconds, but he's still kind of laying there.
All right. I would like to walk over to him while pulling out a coin. And as I walk to him, I'm going to flip the coin in the air, catch it, flip it on my palm, and then lean down in front of him and be like, here's what's going to happen. You're either going to start talking or we're about to play a very simple game. Either call it or start talking.
Listen, friend. I got these cards and I got to get rid of them. I don't know what all cards are in this here deck. Got to get rid of them. And well, some folks it turns out all right for, like your buddy over there. Sometimes it don't turn out too good. But I've seen it happen. I've seen it turn out worse for folks.
Give me the cards.
He kind of shrugs
The
and hands
deck.
it the deck.
Not an individual card, the deck.
Yeah, the whole deck. You say he hands it to you and he just kind of shrugs.
So from us knowing each other, who I'd say between either Zinder or Franklin, are you both magically inclined, like arcana knowledge sort of folks?
Yeah.
Okay. It's always tough with a warlock. So I'll toss the deck over to Zinder and say, ask you to take a look at it to see what you make out of it.
I actually misspoke. I actually am not proficient in Arcana. I'm proficient in religion.
I'd say I would allow that to be. You could use that as a knowledge skill if you want to for this.
Okay. I take a look at the deck. Rolled a 18.
It looks like a normal deck to you. And as you look up, you see Rip. He's kind of laying there, and he just kind of has like he's kind of shrugging, like with a, what can I do kind of look. And he's got about looks like 8 cards in his hand.
I look at Rip and sort of say, what you can do is be honest when you start pulling decks that can kill people.
Well, now if I told folks that, they wouldn't rightly want to take these cards, now would they?
I'll look at Franklin.
That is a point.
Now I ain't got no ill will against you fellas. I'm happy it turned out good for one of you. I'm sorry it didn't turn out so good for the rest of you, but y'all are alive. I got rid of 2 of these cards. Well, you got a little bit of spending money amongst you.
How many more of those cards do you have?
I've got 8 left.
And why do you need to get rid of them?
Because if I don't get rid of them, every year I got to draw another one.
Well, we could each take one.
You do that?
So now, what happens?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not taking these cards. Why doesn't he take one?
So now, what happens to those who draw the cards? Are they then stuck with those cards, or how exactly does someone drawing one card enable you to get rid of them?
When you draw a card, whatever the card is, that's what happens to you, or that's what you get. And then the card goes away. But until then, I'm stuck with them. I can't throw them away. I can't burn them. I can't bury them. I can't throw them in a hole.
So
all I can do is either draw one or it draws itself for me once a year.
So there are 8 left after those 2 that we had drawn?
I had 10 when I sat down at this here campfire.
Did you come to the fire purposely intending for us to take these cards?
Of course I did, fella.
Well, then it looks like you got 8 more cards to draw.
Now, hold on one second. Rip, what happens if someone was to take that deck of cards away from
Unless you draw, you got to say how many cards you want, and that's how many cards I can deal from it. Unless I can't just hand the deck off. I got to hand over, say, I want 8 cards, and I'll give you 8 cards, but then whatever's on them cards can be.
So, hypothetically, if I was to take this deck away from you, or even if you were to willingly give the entire deck to me and I was to take that deck from you, it would still find its way back to you.
Yep. That's about the size of it.
Well, that seems like some bad luck for you.
Well, that's why you don't go crawling around in pyramids. You don't know what's down in there. But I got rid of 2 cards at least, and I'm obliged to you fellas. I'm right grateful for y'all not killing me. But
Night's still young.
Yeah. Let's group huddle for a second.
Let's put the murdering a man card back in the deck, shall we?
All right, listen up. So I want to get everyone. So like we can see Rip, but I want to get
he's
group
standing off
huddle.
the side. He doesn't seem like he's grown a lot meeker since this whole situation has happened. He has a real look of relief on his face that you haven't immediately killed him because of what he's done, but he's backed off and let you guys have your own little powwow.
Okay.
All right. Here's the thing. We can't just give this deck of cards back to him because he's going to do the same thing with other people. It's the self-interest sort of thing.
Yeah, but
But,
it sounds like he can't give it away. He still has those 8 cards.
But
I mean,
I also don't think that it's necessarily right to force him to draw all the cards. Who knows what's in there? It could be good, it could be bad, but
we already got a fine stack of gems out of it, so
and we got death. So we're about at a wash at that one.
We've broken even.
Yeah.
Well, none
I'll
of us
draw
actually
another card if you
died,
want me
so
to.
I think it's a win. I'll take one. I'm a gambling man.
We can't leave him alone.
I don't think you would tell by my fine accent that I'm a gambling man, but I most surely am.
And we can't kill him because who knows if we kill him if the curse doesn't pass on to whoever killed him.
Well, for all we know, there could be a giant beholder, and if he dies and spawns a beholder, who knows what happens when something like that happens.
Does anyone have an idea for how to get rid of something dangerous like this without forcing either him to draw cards or us to draw cards? Anyone heard of anything like this?
Magic is not my strong suit.
This sounds like the power of Kel to me. This sort of unbridled chaos. Am I saying it right, DM?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Well said.
Perhaps some sort of strong law magic could bind it, contain this chaos, but I'm not sure that would work either. And I don't know where we would even be able to find such law magic.
Do we take him with us?
Yes.
Here's my suggestion. We take the 8 cards from him. We do not draw them. And he will, over the course of the next 8 years, draw one each individually. But he won't be there to victimize others like he tried to do us.
Or, well, hear me out. We did get a stack of very nice gems.
I'm with Kynar on this. It was a 50-50 shot. We were able to handle death itself, it seems. So I think we should be able to draw all 8 and handle it.
The closest thing to death you've seen is me.
Oh, I like that. That's a good line.
Oh boy.
I would be willing to draw cards from the deck if it's saving other people from having to do the pull, but I don't know. I don't think we've seen the worst something like that has to offer.
Well, I, for one, am all for drawing one card at the very least, and let's see what happens.
Ooh,
At least we'll be prepared this time.
indeed. 1 second. I'll like turn my head out from the huddle and just, hey, Rip, what happens if we were to kill you?
Well, I reckon not a whole lot to begin with, but then probably next year, around sometime next July, you'd find yourself drawing a card whether you want to or not, and then the next year you'd find yourself drawing a card whether you want to or not, so on and so forth.
Thanks, Rip. Okay, so it looks like if we kill him,
I'll be over here.
you're doing good, buddy. It looks like if we kill him, it transfers the, for lack of a better word, curse.
I knew it.
Them. If someone was to do that, would putting the curse on as someone and then giving them 8 additional years to figure out a way to destroy it, is that a better thing than doing it now? I can't believe the paladin is saying this, but I like vengeance paladins.
But
It's still
again,
a life.
Can we
pile
feed
of
him to
shiny
a
gems.
Go ahead.
But again, pile of shiny gems.
But what if there's something worse in there that's something you wouldn't be able to handle and it would keep you from finding your brother? The shiny gems.
What if there's something in there that leads me to my brother?
I should have thought this through before I said that.
What if it just brings the brother right now?
So, what are the options we have right now?
We take the deck and let him draw one every year for the next 8 years. we can decide to destroy it or not. I say it's just penance for cheating others into trying to bring death itself on them.
Well, it sounds like no matter what, if we take it away from him, it'll end up in his care.
Exactly. He'll for the next 8 years he's going to be drawing one card.
But it'll be in his possession no matter what.
Yeah, but if he's if we take the cards away from him, then he doesn't have to. He can't force other people to draw.
Oh, I think the question I have is, if we take it, do all 8 cards reappear back to him after 1 year, or is okay? That's the problem.
If you take it, well, if you try to take it away from him, like when you took the deck, he handed you the entire deck that he just had the deck of many things listed in it, and then when you took the cards, it just the deck of many thing cards appeared back in his hand.
Yeah, because otherwise that would have been the best one.
True.
Can we feed him to a rhino and curse a rhino?
Unfortunately, they are herbivores.
No.
But if you starve one long enough,
You do have 2 winter wolves, though.
And an owlbear and an axbeak. And
I feel bad saying this, but what happens if he dies of natural causes?
Yeah.
This is Tim saying this. I don't even think Rex can say this. This is just Tim wondering.
Then the Dragon Balls shoot up into the sky and scatter across the earth.
You gotta find them all.
I say we have him draw them all right now. Whether he lives or dies, well, that's not my decision.
Can we just bring him with us and make sure he doesn't try to make anybody else draw a card?
I don't necessarily think that this man deserves killing.
He doesn't.
I'm going to run that risk. I'm going to go over and draw a card.
I'll follow
Say,
Kaiba.
Rip, give me one of them cards. Let's see what happens.
Why don't you roll a d20 and a d6?
Oh boy.
All right, everyone surround on form. If another specter of death appears, don't get involved.
A 16 on the d20 and a 6 on the d6.
Kind of spread out, make sure we're not all in a clump in case it does explode.
Yeah, outside of fireball formation.
And what race are you again, Aaron?
I am a
That would be Wood Elf?
Yep.
Wood Elf. You draw the card and you look. There's a picture of a helmet, and it just looks like a regular knight's helmet. And out in the darkness, you hear a clanking sound coming towards you. It sounds like maybe like a giant metal golem. Maybe a gorgon. Something giant metal, or maybe just a guy in a suit of armor. And you hear a clanking sound. Anybody with dark vision that hears the sound, it looks like a large armored figure is walking towards the camp.
I'm going to just kind of point my rifle at it and call out, excuse me, armored sir, or ma'am, or whatever you might be. What's your business here? Are you coming to kill me or work for me?
He drops to one knee and says, my lord, I'm here in your service. I'm here to help you find your brother.
Woo!
Nice.
And as he arrives, it is a fourth level fighter who appears in a space you choose within 30 feet of you, and the fighter is the same race of you and serves you loyally until death, believing the fates have drawn him or her to you. You control this character. So you have a fourth level fighter sidekick who's also an elf.
Nice.
Awesome.
Ooh, I want one. I'll take a card.
He shrugs and hands you the deck. So roll your d6 or d20 and d6.
Hey, Metal Warrior, if we attack you,
If you attack me, you will die, but I don't believe anyone else will appear.
I like him. I like this one.
A natural 20 and a 3.
Ooh.
I got both ends of the spectrum.
Anytime you ask within 1 year of drawing this card, you can ask a question in meditation and mentally receive a truthful answer to that question. Besides information, the answer helps you solve a puzzling problem or other dilemma. In other words, the knowledge comes with the wisdom on how to apply it. You get a free answer to whatever question you want.
Hey, Connor, I think I might be able to find your brother.
Matt, what?
Everything's turning up Kainor.
Yeah. Everything's coming up, Kainor.
All the struggles of this last campaign that we haven't had is just turning out good for you. All those nat ones that you've been rolling and all your skills and search skills for your brother, they're all paying off.
Is anyone else going to take a card?
All right, who hasn't drawn yet?
Ash hasn't drawn one.
is it
You
just
haven't
me and
drawn
Ash?
one either, have you?
No.
I got the gems.
I'll look at Zinder. Zinder, does this seem like a good idea? Because aside from that little bit of the specter of death appearing, it ain't been seeming that bad.
I would say that someone with your intellect might do it.
Ooh.
I'll nod and I'll turn to the rest of them. We ain't drawing anything.
And he just kind of looks down at his deck and says, "Well, that's a few more gone anyway."
Hey, we made it easier for you. Fewer cards you have to draw now.
I'm obliged to you. And he's giving you that look like, so I'm good to go now, right?
Yeah, start drawing.
Well, what?
Yeah. We commuted your sentence, but you still got to serve your time.
And he just kind of looks. You can see his Adam's apple bobbing as he kind of swallows really big, and he looks down at the deck, and he immediately flops sweating and looking between you and the deck, and he's like, "Well, I don't think I want to."
Well, here's the
Before you
problem.
lies two paths. One is certain, the other is not. In your hands is the uncertain path. In my hand is the certain one, and I pull out the dagger.
He swallows really, really deeply again and looks down at the deck, and he's, "Oh man, I'm getting a job in town." He draws one.
He turns into a dragon and kills us.
Leave a key. And at his feet, Tim, why don't you select one of the magical items from upcoming book?
What level rarity do you want to use?
As long as it's usable by a rogue, and it can be a rare or rarer. So rare or legendary, anywhere in that
All right, give me a minute. I'm gonna randomly pull some.
The card has a picture of a key on it. He shows it to everyone.
Oh, a key. Oh, then actually, I know exactly what we'll do. Necklace of keys.
Can I start meditating on that question of where Kainar's brother is?
You may. He is in a. You know where he is, and you can tell him it's somewhere else that we won't make it to.
All right.
Necklace of
Little
keys.
town.
I'm putting a something in the chat here. So the item, because you is the first one that jumped into my head. It's the necklace of keys. It's a wondrous item that's very rare and requires attunement. It's a necklace with a bunch of keys on it, and it's highly sought after item for thieves. While you're attuned, you have advantage on checks made to pick locks, and in addition, when you open a non-magical lock, you can declare that the key to that lock is on the necklace.
That's awesome.
Every time
That's
you
a
do
good
that, it can be used once per day. And when you do that, roll d20 on a 1. That's the last unique key that was on that necklace.
Oh.
That's cool.
Can we say that his brother is in a neat little town called Belfast?
There you go. That's why I like playing with people in this world because there's so many different characters from different places. I can just have them build towns for me. I don't have to actually make. And you just see this necklace of keys appear around his neck, and he just kind of looks down at it, and he's like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, you're doing great, guy.
He draws another one nervously, and that's.
I'll gesture to the rest of the group, like, hey, if anyone else wants.
Because he's got like what 3 left now.
No, I think he's still got like another 5. Because after the specters there were 8. We drew 2, so there's and he drew 1. So
This is the 6th card.
He had 7, so now he's got 6 left.
Wait, Kainor,
No.
you just got a new friend to help you.
I was thinking about that earlier.
This is going to be awkward. I go over to the new wood elf fighter that appears. Where do you come from? Like, do you have a family, a backstory, or were you just kind of formed out of the ether of this universe?
His voice kind of changes to a voice that doesn't sound quite like a wood elf, but more like your DM. It says, "No, I have my quest. That's all I need."
What color is your shirt under that armor? Does it happen to be red?
Well, are we talking next gen or original series? You can hear the sound of the fourth wall just shattering around you.
Let me put it to you this way. Would you reveal like that you're like 1 week away from retirement? Maybe have like a new wife at home who's waiting for you, something like that.
I have no one. I'm completely pledged to serve the noble Sinor.
Cool. Why don't you go on over there and draw one of those cards and let's see what happens? It might help. Who knows?
Yeah, are you a gambling person?
If Lord Sinor needs me to, I'll be glad to do it. And he just boldly and bravely reaches out and reaches out for a card, which Rip eagerly hands him. And
We are terrible.
6, 7,
That was Rex that went and talked to him.
Yes.
Now,
That's
I just
talented.
like whisper over to Rex. Now, if this gets him killed, you're taking his place.
You know what? That's fine. It's an honorable quest. And I'll feel mildly bad about it.
He draws the card and he shows it to you, Aaron, and it looks like there's a throne on the card.
Oh, what does that mean?
And he says, "Why don't you roll the card next, my liege?" And he rolls with persuasion. He has an advantage on the persuasion skill. Or he gains proficiency in persuasion skill and doubles the proficiency bonus on checks made with that skill. In addition, you gain I should have read the whole thing. In addition, you gain rightful ownership to a small keep somewhere in the world. However, the keep is currently in the hands of monsters, which you must clear out before you can claim the keep as yours.
And that's where your brother is.
Yeah, I have a backstory. I'm Lord of the Keep. But that's why I'm pledged to you, is because I need, if I help you, then you'll help me empty all the monsters out of my keep. All this information is just flying into my brain out of nowhere.
I can feel reality starting to crack.
That thunder sound from the rifle is still cracking, and that's just the sound of reality shattering.
Yeah, the moon of Kells is high in the sky today. Or Chris.
How many cards are we at again? I forgot.
We got 5 more.
5 more. Okay. So
So wait, we started with 10, right?
we start with 10. You
That's
do
the
2.
gems, death, the knight, the question, the magic item, and the persuasion one we just did. That was
So we have
6.
4.
total. 4 left.
4
So
left.
4 left. Okay. So
I'll take one. Because nothing but good things have happened so far.
D20 plus a. Well, actually, do a D4 better. But
A D4?
yeah, do a D20 and D4.
So it was a 15 on the 20 and a 1 on the D4.
All right. Let's see. Medical. Comet. You get a sense of foreboding, but also you get a sense of foreboding that probably not this time, but next time you're gonna fight. You have a fight coming up ahead of you, but you have a feeling that you're gonna gain a full level after you defeat the next hostile monster. This is
Kill
a
Rip.
picture of the comet. If you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster or group of monsters you encounter, you gain experience points enough to gain 1 level. So you should have drawn this card before you fought the specters.
Hey, remember, there's a dire chicken somewhere nearby.
Oh yeah.
I start looking for those lizards. Where are they?
I really wish that I had taken that summon demons spell.
Nice. So there's three cards left, and Rip, he's kind of looking at the cards like he hopes someone else draws them, and the knight, he's loyally standing by waiting for orders.
Zinder, I'm starting to feel mighty tempted.
Same.
You can see as you say that, Rip, he's kind of wiggling forth with like, "Hey, here you go."
You stay out of this, Rip.
Zinder looks up at the moon of Vold, sighs, does like a kiss their fist, puts it up, and then draws a card.
Okay, roll your d20 and your d4.
D20 and D4?
Yep.
Okay. The D4 was a 2, the D20 was an 11.
Just a second. All right. So you draw what looks like a set of like an eagle's. The card has a set of eagle's talons on the front of it, and as you look at the card, you feel things on your person start to get a lot lighter, and you notice which magic items did you have again?
Wand of the War Wizard and Ring of Warmth. I assume those are gone.
They disintegrate into ash and just blow away into nothingness.
Oh.
I'm looking back at the moon and say that's fair.
All right. Here's the thing. 2 cards left.
That's right.
Unless anyone else is, Rip, you're going to draw 1 more card. And then I'll take the last. And if anything bad happens to me, I'm going to come back as a vengeful spirit and haunt the rest of your ass.
And he kind of shrugs and like, well, that's fair enough, but well, you know, I sure hope it isn't that specter card again.
I hope there's not doubles.
I don't know. I don't want to look. I haven't been ruffling through this thing. It turns out bad. I tried it once. And he looks at the deck and he looks at you and he's like, he looks at the knight next to him. He says, "You sure you don't want to try another one, my lord?" And the knight looks at you and he's like, "I have no desire to, but I will if I am more liege."
No, I'll take it. Why not? Let's see what happens.
All right.
Yeah. Break this proverbial whatchamacallit again. Wishbone.
Leading by example for your loyal subject. Good call.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, it's complicated because one of them is the liege, but the other one is also a lord.
So that makes me a super lord.
Yeah. We're recreating the feudal system.
What am I rolling?
D20 and a D4.
18. Oh, I gotta get my D4 out. And a 4.
18. So that weird dizziness that you got when your knight drew a card, that same feeling starts to kind of envelop you as you can see kind of the bounds of reality start to shape in and out, and it kind of like everything goes into a kind of a negative effect where you're not really sure quite what's happening, but you have reality's fabric unravels and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use the card's magic as soon as you draw the card or at any other time before you die.
Oh.
So you've got a time wish.
Oh, I got a simple one. Do I know that he's got this power?
You wouldn't. He hasn't shown the cards to you yet.
Just
Come on,
staring
Eric.
at this one card.
Oh, I know the easy way out, but that's not fun. I'm going to just hold on to this for a bit.
All right. So then I will go ahead and I will draw the last card.
All right. Roll your d20 and your d4. That's the beauty of these one shots is you get it like a YOLO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I know we're not going long, so it's like and then I'll just be bitter if I die. So I got a 17 and a 3.
17. 1, 2, 6, 9, 10, 11.
Big money, big money, big money.
1, 2, 3.
Summon dragon, please.
Your
Royal
card has a
Dragon?
picture of the sun on it. Okay, so there's 22 cards in a deck, and you're supposed to draw from. What I've been doing is just add whatever number is closest to 22 and just going on up the line here. But they all turned out pretty good. I was really hoping that when Rip grew one, it would be like the Void or something, so he could disappear dramatically. You gain 50,000 XP for a wondrous item, which the DM determines randomly, and it appears in your hands.
What level does that bring you up to?
Oh, anyone know the math?
Hang on, let me look.
I'm using my time power to prevent him from drawing that card.
Well, I know 14,000 is
I think this is one of the best results of a deck of many things it's ever had.
This is
Yeah.
insane.
Did you hear that? Or are you not going to do it?
No, that was
Oh.
a joke.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been good.
The card bursts into flames.
I don't think I would know that you just suddenly got a.
You
I don't
would
think
have.
either of you knows what.
Well, you
what
can
the-
like afterwards. You can be all like, "Oh, I wish I had drawn that card."
Wait, how many
Let's see.
experience points?
Rex, you are level
You're
9 now.
5, so you're at
Oh my
6,500.
god.
So what's 6,500 plus 50,000?
56.5, and then you level 9.
Nice.
Yeah, you're level 9.
Damn, you almost got out of the tier with one card. You almost got out of tier 2.
Start rolling hit points.
Cool. So he gets the card. His eyes and like the mouth and like all the orifices just start shooting out bright light.
He goes Super Saiyan 3.
He is like unto a god.
And then it fades and he's just looking at the card. Huh, that felt funny.
You're welcome, Rip.
How do
Hey,
you
if
feel,
Rip,
buddy?
Just kind
if Rip had drawn that card, he might have leveled up and killed all of us.
That's true.
He's a level 15 rogue. Yeah, you can see this look of relief on his face. He looks like this, slightly, not quite emaciated, but definitely malnourished, unfortunate fellow. This look of weight is lifted off of his shoulders, and he just looks like he's taking a deep breath that he hasn't taken in years. But it's still all waving in and out because you have this change reality.
Just on constant acid
But
high.
you can,
Yeah,
it's like every time you make a move, it's like, are you sure you want to go this way? This is your last chance to save before you fight the boss. And he just kind of looks down like, oh, I can't believe I got through 8 cards. I've had these cards for 11 years. Whew.
How did you get these cards in the first place? Should have been a question I asked earlier.
He's I'm gonna sit down if y'all don't. He says, y'all got anything to drink?
I give him
Of course
my
I
water.
do.
Wow. Yeah, but not for you.
Fair enough.
Didn't he say he robbed it from a pyramid?
I was down in this pyramid, me and these 3 other fellas, and we were down in there just looking, poking around, seeing if we could find anything good. And well, they found this sword, and this other fellow found this necklace, and this deck of cards. And I thought, well, heck, this is a heck of a deal. And I drew a card, and well, I had me a magic dagger. Well, then my buddy, he says, hey, I want a card too, and he just disappeared, and we ain't never seen him sight and nothing from him ever since. He just plumb disappeared right off the face of the earth. And the other fella, he didn't want nothing to do with it. He just up and left.
That person was the smart one.
I look at my half-elf companion, or a wood elf companion.
Which one?
Oh, the gunslinger. I'm really bad with names.
Kynor.
I look at Kynor, and I kind of say, well, see now, I'm glad that you've got this burden off of you, and I toss the deck of like the remaining normal playing cards to Rip and say, you ain't playing with a full set of cards now.
Yeah. At least I didn't bother.
And you hear a small bird say, and I bet that there's someone who can warp reality to give him some more.
We're warp reality, and you have a full deck of cards.
Full deck of many things again.
Yeah, so Rip, you're gonna have to not do stuff like this anymore. Can you do that for us?
I'm not a bad fella, you know. I was in a bad situation. And he looks at you, Ash. He says, "You know, I feel bad you lost all your gear. Here," and he gives you his necklace that he just got of many keys. I know this probably won't replace your little stick and your little ring, but hopefully this will help you at some point in the future.
I slowly. Cinder sort of grasps the thing and then quickly pulls it to close to them. Don't think that this makes us even.
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't reckon there's much I can do to make me even with all you fellas.
I feel just fine, actually.
I've got all these shiny rocks.
So now that we know this deck has all the cards are drawn, is it just gone? Do we need to worry about it popping back up anywhere?
He looks at you. He says, "You know, I don't rightly know, and I'm done poking around in tombs. I guess if this deck shows up again, I'll either steer clear of it, or I guess deal with it. Preferably the former, not the latter."
If that deck does appear again, why don't you come tell me?
Well, I guess I will. If I know where you are, I guess I'll.
Once I find my brother, I should head on back to the forest. So.
Oh, your
Gonna
brother's
go
in
home.
Belfast, by the way.
What?
What?
What? We traveled together for weeks, and you knew that this whole time.
You never asked me. You just showed a picture.
Guess we're going to Belfast.
I wish that we already were in Belfast. Save us the travel time.
Sinar he just nods like, yeah, that would be nice.
All right. Chat's throwing out a heavy-handed, wanting to get us all murdered.
It's Belfast in hell.
I don't get any cool teleportation spells. Sorry.
And with that, Rip, he looks at you and says, "Well, thanks, fellas. I'll be seeing you, I reckon."
I hope not, Rip. I really hope not.
For your sake, I hope not.
And he kind of nods and kind of starts doing that whole back away, like, "Is this cool? Is this all right?"
I give him a good friendly wave. Just bye.
And as you start waving, your fighter starts waving emphatically. His armor starts creaking back and forth, just mirroring you. And with that, he disappears into the darkness, and you can still hear the
Chicken.
not the chicken. You can still hear the thundering sound of when Sinor's rifle went off. And as you look, you can see it looks like thunder is off in the distance. Maybe some lightning.
Oh, more rain.
Was that a card or is that natural? I don't know what to believe.
Hard to say.
What if life was just like a huge game? Total random chance. Everything was just,
This person was just
depended on the roll of a dice.
obstacles in your way.
Nah, but what if it was a card game instead?
I like to
Anything
believe that
could
it would be played on some sort of two-wheeled motor vehicle.
I mean, that sounds mighty useful. Sounds like it could have replaced these rhinos that we totally have in the background here.
Yeah, I'm glad that none of the cards killed any of those rhinos. At least we got
Hey,
our
could have
payday
these
from
rhinos
that.
start- You should just hand the decks out and see if you can nibble them away from or something like a goat or something.
They've been awfully quiet this entire time.
That's where you end up with a level 10 rhinoceros.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Brutus. That's my new Brutus.
I'm gonna multi-class the rhinoceros for a little while. Well, let's see. How are we doing on the faceless announcer? How are we doing on the donations for the stream?
We're up to
We are currently at $900 out of $1,000.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
So we are obviously a lot of people have been promoting on Twitter, and thank you very much to all of the people who are promoting, and thank you for everyone watching. Looking to get about $100 more before stream end, and then of course after this game, PR, we'll do a quick wrap up. So whenever you're ready, let us know.
Okay. Well, we've got about looks like we have about 15 minutes left or so. Probably don't want to throw any more other encounters out there, but before I start wrapping up, at this point, I had some other stuff we could do, like we have some skill challenges, but I'm not used to running under a time constraint, you know, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want to.
I'm impressed that we ended early, honestly.
I'm impressed that no one died with the deck.
Yeah.
This is one of the least
This was insane for a deck of many things.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
expected this just to be a couple minutes at the beginning. I didn't think we were just gonna have so many things happen with it.
So have this be a lesson to anyone who plays other D&D games and gets the deck of many things. They're
Take
all
as many
good.
cards.
Yeah,
Every
they're
single
all
thing-
really good.
Mhm.
Just do all of them.
Yeah, and like if you draw a bad card, that probably means because your character is like inherently evil.
Yeah, it's just justice. It's just the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the good characters get like their brother back, and
Gems.
gems. The bad characters who threaten people with violence, they lose all their magic items.
Exactly.
Yeah. Really, it's what you're just not allowed to have nice things at all.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
if it makes you guys feel better, the first thought when I got the time power was I could go back in time and prevent Rip from ever having been born.
Oh
could've
man,
just
then you have to worry about the butterfly effect, and you guys would have
Mhm.
never.
Yeah.
Your brother would have never been born too, and your knight would have never.
That'd be
been born.
great.
Yeah, now you just have to go on a quest.
He would have had a nice job as a cobbler back in the.
It's like that part in like some old like JRPGs where you can like just say like, "No, I don't want to be I don't want to hunt monsters. I want to," and then that's the end of the game.
Well, as you guys are
A
hearing that
Tarrasque
thunder,
comes at him.
yeah, the Tarrasque rears his head and he was the whole mountain to begin with. As you guys hear the thunder off in the distance, you start to see the lightning, and you start to hear the sound getting closer, and you can see your rhinos are starting to get a little nervous as they as they hear this sound approaching. They're starting to, make the sound that rhinoceroses make when they're nervous, which I've never heard the noble cry of the rhinoceros before, but I imagine it's very bovine-like.
Very deep.
Yeah. It has maybe a more nasal tone to it. I don't know. But you can see the rhinoceroses they're starting to get a lot really nervous and start to kind of get up and walk around and shamble around nervously. The chicken doesn't sound happy either.
They nervous about the storm or something spooking them?
Oh, hard to say.
Can we get on our mounts and sort of try to shepherd them, to keep them in line?
Sounds like a good idea. As you're doing it, you can notice that it's more thunder and lightning, but you don't really seem to feel any moisture in the air. You don't feel, the typical telltale wind of a storm blowing in. As the sound gets closer, it sounds more like hoof beats hitting the ground. Just like a massive sound of it, and like maybe hundreds of hoof beats hitting the ground simultaneously.
I think it's probably best we get out of their way.
Out of what way?
The way of the horses.
What horses? Oh! Or whatever's.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just gonna pull up my rifle and look down the scope and see if I can see what's causing this noise.
You roll a with advantage because you got your scope.
That would be a total of 18.
18. As you look through your scope, you don't see anything initially. As you kind of focus in and out and move this way and right, and then you kind of catch something in the field of vision of your scope, and you turn back towards it, and it looks like you see red eyes moving towards you, but not across over the hills or through the rocks, but they're up in the sky, probably 100, 200 feet. Then you kind of look through this, look at what in the heck? And you look back through there, and you can see more red eyes, and they're running through. It looks like a herd of. They look like cattle. They look kind of weird. They're strangely colored cattle, and it looks like there's some kind of glowing light behind them, and it looks like they're stampeding through the air towards you.
The air?
In the air?
Insert 90s one-liner here.
What?
Ah, here we go again.
It's just been revoked. Wait, that doesn't work.
Long live
Let's get
the
the rhinos out of here. I don't want our payday to get trampled by hell cow.
Yeah, let's charge at him. I'm gonna charge at him.
Which direction are we going? Are we running towards the hell cows? Away from.
We gotta go up.
Well, yeah. Okay. After a few minutes of him looking, are you going to relay what you've seen?
Yeah. I would tell everybody.
As he does that, you guys can kind of look, and most of you have fairly good vision. You can see this looks like a herd that's in the air. Actually, they're not flying, as you can tell, but it looks like they're running in the air above, coming towards you. They're still a long ways off. They're running towards you, and it looks like there's some sort of stampeding herd up in the sky.
How high off the ground?
150, 200 feet, pretty high.
Oh, well, then in that case,
Cloud level.
Bruno, you're. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
anyone want some beef? I'm just saying, if we got someone with a big gun, but I can shoot some fire, get some sirloin.
Yeah, Brumaleaf, you're a dragonborn. Can you fly or something? Do you have dragon wings?
I don't even have a tail, let alone wings. But
As
I
you
do
say
have a
Sirloin,
longbow.
at night, he pops up and says, "Oh yeah, that's my name, Sirloin."
The backstory is just filling that.
Oh.
I'm still hungry, so I'm going to try to shoot one of these down with my longbow.
Okay.
I got a 23.
We'll do it with disadvantage because this is going to be long range.
Okay. Okay, so that is a 18.
18. You see your arrow fly through the air, and it hits one, glances off its head. And as you're focusing to aim, you see these look like they're made out. These horns look like they're almost made out of steel on these cattle. And as you look closely, you can see they have what looks like some kind of symbol on their rump that looks like it's actually on fire.
Okay. I call back to the other guys. I'm like, we can't eat them. They seem to be made out of some kind of metal. Can anybody eat metal?
I look back at the Dragonborn. Can you?
No.
Oh, then I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna speak for the rest of us. I don't think.
I don't think this is what they mean when you need a corrected iron deficiency.
I've seen a dwarf eat a rock once.
Little known fact, wood elves, when they're born, they are encased fully in metal. No, that's just another little bit of elf humor.
I think you got to
Rule
freshen up
3.
your routine.
No, that's the third one.
Gag.
All right.
Space for all.
So I don't know. Should we just try to get out of the way of the stampeding horde of flying steel hell cows, or?
Well, they're all the way up there.
Yeah, they're all the way up there. We're down here.
Oh, are they coming
Seems
towards
like-
us?
I
Let's
mean,
at least try to get the rhinos from not being under.
As this herd is stampeding towards you with their brands still on fire and what looks to be their hooves made of steel, you hear this sound.
No, might cut out.
There, my cutout.
Can't hear it?
No, I
was
can't hear it.
I was playing Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Oh.
That was one of the encounters I had set up where you see behind the herd you can see what look like riders riding spectral horses that have flaming manes and tails, and they're whipping their mounts as hard as they can, trying to get in these gorgons that are stampeding through the sky. But it doesn't look like they have any way of getting ahead of them.
Yeah, I say we move the horses. I say we move the rhino.
Yeah, that seems
I agree.
prudent.
Or, and I look towards the spellcasters, like, unless you guys have magical powers that might divert steel rampaging hell cows. Huh?
I can throw fireballs at it.
Does that work?
I don't think that we want to provoke their attention.
if only the sorcerer had hit level 9 in prismatic.
Good point. Let me look at my new fancy spells. I think I can just smite harder.
You can
I
find a better steed.
True.
I am at a bit of a loss as to what's happening here. Maybe those riders will talk. Maybe they'll just pass overhead and leave us undeterred.
But it looks like they're flying towards us.
They didn't look like they're necessarily flying towards you. You just happen to be in the direction that they're traveling.
Yeah, so I just say that we move a little bit to the left or the right, and we're good.
Okay. Hypothetically, if I was to become more powerful, being infused by vengeance, I might be able to make a magical circle that's kind of small, but can keep out certain types of enemies.
I say we just. I think we go with just move the rhinos. Simplest thing we can do.
Yeah, let's stop moving the rhinos.
Agreed.
Like them. Why don't you all roll an animal handling with
With what?
advantage?
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
14.
18.
20.
Ooh.
I got a hot 10, but it's better than a natural 1, which would have been a 0.
This is true.
Yeah.
8.
Total of 8.
I'd say, but you maybe a few, you get maybe 5 or 6 of the rhinos manage to break away and get out into the canyon, but you get the majority of the herd out of the way with what looks like they're not immediately going to be, have any flying gorgon manure fall on them from the sky or trampled in a
Sea of
unexpected
hell.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what flying gorgon cows eat?
Flying gorgon grass.
I was going to say
Do you have
flying
any,
metal grass.
You have any divine sense, Tim?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. It would reveal celestial or undead. So. Yeah. The problem is it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
those would probably be fiend anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, if they come within 60 feet, I'll let you know.
I forgot.
Yeah, I'm glad that you got that divine sense because you got little self sense.
Yeah, let's stay more than 60 feet away from these things.
As they thunder on by, you see these riders that are behind them that are desperately trying to get ahead of this herd, but it doesn't look like they have any. They look like they're bound to ride forever on this range up in the sky on horses snorting fire. As they ride on, you hear them cry.
Who
That sounds
shot
like
at
a real
them last
nightmare.
time? Did Brimmerleaf shoot at them?
Yeah, I shot an arrow. I revealed they were metal.
I'll whisper to you. Hey, what happens if you shoot one of them? Think that might help those riders?
Shoot him again?
Yeah.
Shoot,
What happens?
The riders or the gorgons?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll shoot one of the riders. That is 17.
17.
I think that's with disadvantage because they're like 150 feet in the
They
air.
are, yeah. Well, they're getting closer, but that would be out of range. Or I mean, it would still be within range, but it would be with the disadvantage.
Oh, so 15.
15. That'll still hit.
Yes.
You shoot one, and he immediately flies flat off of his flaming nightmare horse. And as he does, you see him fall to the ground, and he just kind of dissipates as he hits the ground, much like Ash's magical items disappeared. And as this happens,
Way to twist the knife.
You see Brumo Leaf start to kind of fade away as he's standing there.
Well, I'm like looking at my hand. I'm
And he
like,
starts to, you can see his bones, just as his skin disappears, his looks more like a skeletal figure, shrouded in mystery, and he kind of fades away. And you see the horse that was dismounted, you can see now it has a rider again.
nice. Am I on the horse?
You're riding, you look like Ghost Rider, dude. You got a flaming skull, and you've got a whip and everything, and you look metal as heck.
Yeah, especially because Dragonborn.
Right? Oh yeah, Dragonborn Ghost Rider.
Someone in chat, draw fan art.
I gotta draw this too.
That wasn't expected.
Well, I guess the lesson learned is don't listen to Rex and don't shoot the riders.
I always draw all the cards from the deck of many things because nothing bad will happen, but don't shoot at a random undead.
Do I have like control over being this? Am I evil now?
You're not evil, but you feel compelled to get ahead of this stampeding herd of Gorgon. You think that if you can just get ahead of them, then you might be released from this curse.
Brumaleaf, come back down here, buddy.
I'm like.
Are you using your reality shaping ability?
I was really debating it.
Now
But if I do it, we're not going to get the donation, so you're dead. You died for the children's benefit.
I'll accept that.
I like that. Very noble.
You can see they're about parallel with you now. The riders, and You know, maybe one of them that looks a little bit like he has a dragon skull kind of looks over at you like, "Come on, guys." You know?
I wave.
I'll turn to Zinder. How bad of an idea would it be to shoot off one of the other riders, get on there, and see if we can rescue Emily?
That sounds like an idea you would have.
Why don't you stand on my gun and I'll shoot you out of the gun and then you can try and tackle him off the horn? I mean, that just seems about the same level of ridiculousness, honestly.
Can you do that?
Congratulations, Rex. You just got promoted.
Wait a second. I've got an idea.
No, that is absolutely not how a firearm works.
You fly now?
No, not that. It's a long shot, literally, but I can protect people from possession and evil entities. If someone was warded in such a way and was to then hit Broomaleaf, do you think that might knock him off and break a curse?
I don't have the foggiest idea what even happened to him, so I don't particularly want to run that risk.
Well, what if you're the, unless anyone else, but considering that you're a gunslinger, you're probably the best aim out of the group.
You still got lots of grit to burn.
I could protect you. I don't know if it'll work, though. It's up to you.
You know, I think I might have an out on that, so I'm going to shoot Broomaleaf.
All right, so I'll protect him from good and evil before he does that.
How does protection from good and evil work?
I don't know.
I think it's like protection from like fiends, undead, and celestials.
It technically, I think, gives disadvantage on attack rolls against me or something for them.
Correct.
I don't think it's going to apply in this situation.
But the
believe
target
that is
also
correct.
can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by creatures of that type. And I'm really going on the possession angle.
Okay.
I will remain aloof and indiscernible on the what will happen in that case.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, am I rolling against Broomaleaf? I'm going to spend a grit point to give myself advantage, and why not? Let's make this a sharpshooter shot.
Oh yeah, blow out all the stops.
Use all those class resources.
Yeah, man, burn them inspiration dies.
And 22.
What's your hit?
16.
16. Oh man, you can completely wing him.
Do you want me to roll damage?
Yeah, why not?
Uh, 15, 20, 30 damage.
30
I'm
damage?
dead. I'm dead.
All right,
Well, you're not undead. That's for sure.
Relief, what do you believe happens after you depart this mortal coil?
Oh,
Where do you wake up if you happen to die somehow?
Hypothetically.
I imagine I wake up in a enormous, like way larger than my monastery, a gigantic monastery, like bright lights, full of not only my my dragonborn ancestors, but like all dragonborn ancestors, like all of both chromatic and metallic, and like a big feast is about to occur, and I'm sitting down to like join in the feast.
That, believe it or not, that happens. I don't know how you manage in my notes, but that's exactly where your character's version of the afterlife would happen.
Nice.
And as for
I'm still dead.
as for Steinor, he there's now a flaming wood elf skull atop a
Time stop.
flaming wood elf Time stop.
I don't shoot him.
No, bro, back from the
Well, as that happens, your you're just about to sit down at this table with all of your ancestors.
You're back on the horse.
And you're about to sit down and receive your eternal reward for your faithful duties as a monk. And then just as you take the first bite of food to your mouth, you're pulled out of your chair and kicked out of the gates of paradise, and you land back on this flaming brimstone horse.
God damn it!
And Sinar, you take your finger off the trigger
Oh, jeez.
and think
No.
about what might have happened.
This is a really dumb idea.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't work.
And somewhere in your pocket, you can feel a card disappear.
Gotta get my brother back.
Who's in Belfast?
Yes. Anyone want to tackle him, and I'll try to remove. It's gonna remove off at this point.
He's out of my range.
Yeah, they're traveling away from you now. They're still pretty high up in the air. And except for the axe beak, potentially the axe beak. I don't think any of you selected any flying mounts.
No, the axe beak doesn't
Nope.
fly.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I wouldn't.
I
think
just
so.
wave my hat at them.
I'll look at Franklin and just be like, I kind of meant shoot one of the cows, but I still feel bad about this.
As you should.
Can I try using my owl to cast Revivify on Bruno Leaf?
You need the body, don't you? Or do you?
It says you touch a creature that has died within the last minute. I would use my
Yeah, so-
owl as my familiar.
Oh,
And to touch him.
That's a good point.
I have no idea how that would work.
Touch creatures died within the last minute. What is the speed on your owl?
60 feet.
50 feet. Let's see, how fast is Gorgon?
We're grasping at straws, but I want it to work.
But I didn't really even give any thought into whatever you would turn into, because I didn't anticipate that this would happen. This is why you should always be ready to make things up as a DM.
You're welcome.
Hey, we did hit our goal.
Hey!
Oh, fantastic!
Yay!
And all you had to do was condemn
Die.
yourself to eternal suffering.
And then get a taste of the afterlife, and only for it to be snatched away.
Within 40 feet. Oh yeah, I'd say your owl can easily catch up with a Gorgon feet.
So I'd go up to Bruno Leaf, cast Revivify through the owl.
He does, and you find yourself, Brumaleaf, riding on top of a nightmare that is currently on fire, and you are approximately 180 feet in the air.
You got slow fall. You got this.
Yeah, I'm gonna use.
Or the monk thing.
It's slow fall. I'm going to use slow fall to, fall back to. As a reaction, I can reduce any fallen damage I take by 5 times my monk level. So
That would be by 10 damage.
No,
25.
5 times. So it
25.
would be 25 damage.
25 damage. So okay, so it's
It's
is
5
it
times
D6
5,
or
so-
D10 for falling damage.
It's a D6 per 10 feet.
So
Yeah.
100
So you're gonna die again.
1, 3, 4, 8, 12, 13, 16. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 die.
I'm just gonna crash to the ground and be dead again.
And then get revivified again.
You have to prevent all. It has to be less than 25 because you're at 1 hit point.
Yep.
Yeah, because Revivify puts you at 1.
Use your dragon wings.
So 41 falling damage.
Well, that
Nice.
doesn't kill you outright.
So it's because it's only 16.
Yeah, it's only 16 damage. So, yeah, that's not like twice your max hit points. So
Whoa.
you can make death saving throws.
Alex, do you,
No, I
Alex,
just-
do you have healing?
We
I just collapsed to the
I can
ground.
get
Yeah,
to
I
him.
got.
I can heal him.
Okay.
we did just get a $500 donation. So we just hit
What?
1,500.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Whoa.
So thank you to whoever dropped that, because that's amazing. You're awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah.
Or
Anonymous.
Hell bovine.
All right.
Just
So
these characters experiencing is worth it.
Unholy cow.
yeah, let's all get possessed if this is what we raise.
Yeah.
You get
Forget
17
Ray's
hit
dead.
points back.
17.
Yes, sir.
Forget raise dead. How about I take the spell raise funds?
I like
awesome.
get up and like grab you by the shirt and I was like, I saw life after death, and then I was on a horse and I really needed to like herd in some cattle, and I was at a feast, and then I was back on the horse again, and then I fell a lot.
An owl hit me.
I saw an owl and
It was the cosmic
life
owl.
back into-
briefly.
I cast daylight to blind him.
Burn all your spell slots just to to mess with him.
Well, with that, everybody's back to life and nobody was cursed, sent away to a painful plane of reality, and you guys got some people lost their magic items. You guys got a bunch of jewels. Turned out pretty as well as I thought it could have. Turned out a lot better than I had worried.
Mm-hmm.
I died and then I came back.
That was a lot of fun.
I died.
You died, then you came back, and then you died again, and then you came back again.
You had a busy day.
Yeah, we met a lot of death.
Yeah,
We saw a lot of death. Just
That's true.
but nobody actually
died. Yeah.
We looked death in the face and told him that we slept with his sister.
We looked heaven in the face and said, "Can I please stay?" Oh wait, no.
These metal flying cows were worse luck than the deck.
Yeah. The moral of the story is that don't kill undead. Always draw all the cards of the deck of many things.
I draw every
Always.
card.
Don't shoot flying cows.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. Man, that's awesome how we surpassed the goal. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
1600.
Mhm.
super cool.
Nice.
This was a lot of fun, guys.
Camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
was so
agree.
much fun.
Okay. Well, I'm.
So we just heard from the
PR.
voice of God.
I'm PR. You can find me on Twitter at Cowboy Centaur.
My name is Tim Gonzalez. You can find me at Pirate Gonzalez and check out my Kickstarter for the Archive of Magic Items. Thank you very much, everyone.
I'm Ash. You can find me at Lonely Ash Tree on Twitter. I started doing a small WordPress blog where I'm starting to do a few like published stuff on DM's Guild. I think right now the only two things that are up there are two Paladin subclasses, the Oath of Love and the Oath of the Wanderer. So you can check those out. And yeah, that's me.
I'm Aaron. You can find me on Twitter at properly_Aaron. And you can also find me on my podcast, Beyond the Tavern, on Twitter at BTTPod, that I'm the DM for.
You can find me on Twitter at 405wits, and you can read my book reviews at geeklyinc.com.
And
Awesome.
I'm Alex, and I'm on the random parts of the internet.
But thanks again, Pierre. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I really enjoy your world.
And thank you to Roll for Change for letting me join up. It was awesome.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you,
Oh,
everyone.
right.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that I'm the editor for the Firefly podcast that Rob is guilting me for. So
Okay.
I'm on that occasionally. I'm in an episode or two, so that's also good at Firefly podcast.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. We're going to be taking a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back for just like a wrap up, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.